we're able to do that soon. We've also got some fun information as far as what we are able to offer. So in December, we started a clinical team, and this clinical team was started by hiring a licensed independent mental health practitioner. Donna Holland specifically is who we were able to hire, and we hired her because we needed someone to conduct functional behavior assessments. Now, this is an assessment that's required by the state of Nebraska, and it's something that has to be done by a clinician. This rule was actually put into place in 2017, but many agencies like Duet was grandfathered in to not have to have a licensed professional to perform those assessments, and that grandfather ruling has been removed. So we are required to have functional behavior assessments for all of the people who take any type of psychotropic meds or have any type of behavior support plans or safety plans. All of that stuff has to be done based on a functional behavior assessment completed by a licensed clinician. Those clinicians can be a licensed independent mental health practitioner, a licensed psychologist, or a nurse practitioner. This is also something that the state provides revenue for. So this is something that we bill for and something that is able to support itself. So this is a really nice addition. And what we learned once we hired Donna was, gosh, we have a lot of folks that we provide this assessment for. And so we have been growing in this department, and we're very excited to announce that we've hired an APRN and then 2 BCBAs. A BCBA is a board certified behavior analysis, and an APRN is a nurse practitioner. So we're very excited to add those 3 people on. Those 3 can all complete FBAs. Again, something that we are able to bill the state of Nebraska for, and they're also able to provide training, specific training to everyone's individual needs based on behaviors. Again, building those assessments that then will provide all of our staff with more tools. We have also kind of tweaked what was our behavior support consultant position. So that position is now program development specialist, and we're actually putting those positions out into the areas. So now all of our areas will have a program development specialist, and those employees will be writing behavior support plans and safety plans based on the FBAs done by the clinicians. So we're very, very, very excited about this. Just in the way that we do with our nurses, we are treating the program development specialist almost like case manager nurses, in that we're going to have one in each area so that all of our staff and all of our people supported have the opportunity to build a relationship, if they don't already have one, with many of our longtime behavior support consultants. With that being said, we have hired 1 new program development specialist. I think she got going actually last week. So we are growing by leaps and bounds. We're very, very excited about our new clinical team and everything that they bring to the agency. Let's see. Well, that brings Debbie back. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and let Debbie take.
Okay, so I'm going to give you just an update on COVID. So we have been keeping people home since the middle of March, so almost 2 months. And we've made it this long with no positive test results. I've been giving reports weekly on how many employees and people supported were tested. Last Friday, we had our first positive test result from an employee. And since then, we've had another employee. The good news is they are both work between 2 homes. So we've been trying to keep the number of employees going into homes to a minimum. So if something like this did happen, we weren't exposing our entire agency. So right now, we have 21 negative results from people tested, the 2 positive, which are both employees, and 2 results pending. If you are on the call here and you're a guardian of someone we support, if you have not been notified by now, then it's not the home that your person lives in. So all guardians for the people that live in these 2 homes have been notified that their person's been exposed. All of our employees have been given cloth masks to wear. So this is some other things that we are doing with COVID. Any person that's supported that would like a mask, we have those available for them too. We didn't just automatically give them to the people we support because we figured their chances of exposing someone are very unlikely because they've all been kept in their homes. But we do have them if anyone needs them. Where there's been a positive diagnosis, we have hospital grade masks that are available and gowns that these employees can wear. So we're doing our best to try and keep the other people who have not been diagnosed safe.
And FYI, those masks, those hospital grade masks are available to everyone in the house. So any person supported, if they will wear a mask, they have a mask, a hospital N95 mask available to them.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. And we have another supply of these masks in our main office. And we've just placed another order today. We're hoping we don't have more positive cases, but we want to be prepared if we do. So we have plenty of the disposable gowns and the hospital grade masks. And then I was just going to give a quick shout out to the DD Council. They supply providers that ask for them additional cloth masks. So we got another 500 masks from the DD Council. So we have plenty of cloth masks available, as well as the disposable ones for our employees. Any employee that shows symptoms of COVID is being quarantined for 14 days. And if they have no positive diagnosis, they have to be fever-free for 72 hours before they can return. So the employee must be tested. If we have a positive diagnosis, those employees have to be tested again and have a negative test before we'll let them return to work. And beginning this Wednesday, and I say this Wednesday because we had to make sure all of our homes had what they needed, but our employees are taking their temperatures at the beginning and the middle of their shift. And as soon as they come on to their shift, they're going to take their temperature and email the results to their manager. So if we have anyone of 100.4 temperature, we will send them home because we're trying our best to keep this to a minimum. Reopening, we keep having to move the date that we're going to reopen. The criteria that's been set by the CDC and the director of our health department says that we should have a 14-day decline before they really feel comfortable with businesses opening back up. So we are going to be really cautious. So we right now have moved our open date to June 1st. If you follow the reporting of the curve at all, it's going up and not down. So there's no way we'll be able to open on the 18th. So we have temporarily moved our date to June 1st and are hoping that everything in the state calms down for us to be able to do that. Our director of nursing, Colleen Hansen, and our policy chair, Mary Rubio, have drafted a reopening procedure with specific precautions. So I have that now. I've got to review their draft. But when we do open, we'll still be taking extra precautions to make sure we're keeping people safe. It won't be just back to business as usual. And I think that's all that I had to report on COVID. You want to go back to the upcoming events real quick, Sarah? And then we'll
I will just
a
second.
Areas.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So here are just a couple of things that are coming up that you might want to be aware of. We have our next Zoom webinar, which is like today. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's it has our special. It's a seminar series.
I apologize. I forgot to put the actual title of the seminar series there. So this particular seminar series topic is legacy gifts. I apologize about that.
Okay, thanks. So it features Andy Deaver from AKC Law. We always bring in a special speaker for our webinar series that Marcy sets up for us. So that's the next seminar series, and it'll be held just like this meeting today. And then our next community informational meeting, it is scheduled for August 10th, and we are being optimistic and put the address of our administration building. We're hoping that we'll be able to have the meeting there, but we are going to continue doing Zoom meetings like this one. So if we have someone who lives out of state that wants to participate, then they can still participate. But we're hoping to be able to have this in our training room at our administrative office in August.
Well,
and now
before we move on to the area reports, I don't see any questions in the Q&A section. So if you guys have any questions that you want to ask either the area director that you deal with most often, I see somebody just said they have a question. So go ahead and type that question and we'll go ahead and get it answered. So we'll let the area directors kind of give their reports, and then when they're all done, we'll do Q&A, but we'll answer the questions that are asked in that Q&A section. So go ahead and type your questions there and we'll get them answered. So without further ado, we're gonna turn things over to David Wallace, the area director of North Douglas.
Good evening, everyone. How's that sound? We doing okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. I just want to shout out as well quickly before we get started, and that's just to thank everybody from my associate director down on through my coordinators, the managers, and the DSPs who are caring for the people that we all care for. They've done a terrific job, and it's really tough. So I just really want to thank them and make sure that we spend just a minute recognizing the terrific job that they're all doing. In terms of administrative stuff, there's not a whole lot going on. As Debbie mentioned earlier, COVID has kind of put a crimp in a lot of things that we were doing. However, we have still got some stuff. We've made a couple of hires. We hired Mark Wiley, who will run our day services program. He has experience extensively, actually, with providing services, day services, and most recently comes to us from the state of Nebraska as a service coordinator. So we're really excited with some of the things that Mark is going to bring on board for us. We also made an internal promotion. Matt Gomez was working at our care location, and we had a management position come open there, and Matt will be taking on that role again. Some of you may know Matt. He's kind of been around for a while with us, did an excellent job, and I'm really looking forward to see what he can do with that location. We've also hired a new nurse that will be working in our area. Her name is Jessie LaFleur, and she'll be continuing to work with Lori Ellis to support our folks medically. I'm sure she's going to be busy, and she'll be based out of 114th when we open up again. And as Sara mentioned, we're also bringing the program development specialists in to the area as well. So it's kind of pretty exciting to see that whole team approach come together, to have all those people available and accessible in the same location. And I think if COVID has taught us anything, that it's communication is really the key to a lot of the things we're doing. So we're looking forward to that as well. Other than that, we're just continuing to support folks to try and lead as normal a life as possible. This is really hard. It sounds like a dream job to be able to sit at home and do nothing, or to be able to stay in your house the whole time, but it's not. It's really difficult. I know that many of you are struggling, and I know that we have many folks that we support who are struggling as well, and we're doing the best that we can to keep them active and engaged and living lives as normal as possible right now. We would invite you to continue to reach out to them through email, through calls. We can do these Zoom meetings at the houses. We can do video connections. We have the telephone as always. So if you're interested in that, please get a hold of your manager for the location. If you don't know who that is, you can reach out to me as well, and we'll make sure that we get that set up for you. Thank you all for your patience as well as you let us care for your loved ones during such extraordinary times. We appreciate it very much. And that's North Douglas. Sarah, thank you.
All right, thank you, David. So then that brings up Kathy Soderberg with our Dodge Washington area.
Okay, hello everyone. Can you hear me okay? Sarah, you guys hear me?
Yes, Kathy, we hear you.
Yep, sorry, I'm slow on my unmute.
That's all right, okay. Like Sarah said, the new location in Blair is absolutely beautiful, and it's on 1548 Front Street. We will be moving in there as soon as services resume. I want to shout out to Deb Kruger and her supervisors for the excellent job they've done moving from the old location and organizing the new location. So that'll be exciting once we start services. Fremont, well, it looks like not until August when we move into our new location there at 1935 East Military. And kind of like David, I want to shout out to my coordinators, Joan Wilcox, Crystal Statt, and our assistant, Catherine Manning, for working so well together with the staff this is difficult for everyone, and to make things run so smoothly and all the activities they've given them. And I'd also like to shout out to Danny Streeter, who is our Director of Community Inclusion. She has come up with a lot of kits for the individuals to do. Our staff have been so creative on the activities they've done during the day since they can't go to the day program. And they have been sending pictures to family members, because you got to remember our individuals haven't seen their family members either because of the COVID-19. So I want to shout out to our staff for their creativity and trying to keep everything together here. So it will be nice to reopen. That's about it. Thank you. Okay. That's it, Sarah. Okay.
Yep, thanks, Kathy.
You bet. You bet.
And then up next is our CASARPI Area Director, Connie Kuntz.
Hello, guys. We have been just as busy as everybody else trying to keep people calm and comfortable and safe in our environments. Some of the things that are going on in Bellevue, I recently hired a store manager for our Artisan Commons location. And that is our new location that will be our thrifts, gifts, and consignment location. It is coming together very nicely. Charity has done a great job of getting things organized. We had to go through some issues with some renovations, but those renovations were done, and now we're back to setting up the thrift. We are still still anticipating hopefully a July or August opening. And with that being said, if you do have donations, we are taking donations now. The address for Artisan Commons is 410 North Galvin Road in Bellevue. It's pretty easy to find, but if anybody wishes to drop anything off, Charity can arrange to meet you there, and we can get those donations in the front door. Tomorrow we are partnering with the Big Gardens, and the Big Gardens awarded us a grant to put in 6 raised beds next to Artisan Commons, and they are going to be helping us and our folks in Bellevue plant the crops, harvest the crops, raise the crops, and then in turn that food will be used at some of the open door mission sites where we volunteer, and at some of the food banks where we also volunteer. And then next year we should be able to increase those raised beds and then use some of that food that's harvested for some of our folks in our Bellevue area. I didn't get in on the very beginning of the meeting, so I don't know what was mentioned about our location at 3604 Summit Plaza in Bellevue. That location should be opening in June. And I gotta tell you, I walked through it last week, and it, like Kathy mentioned about her location, that location on 36th and 370 is just gonna be fantastic. It is, it looks very, very nice. It's going to be a nice area office for us, and I think anyone who comes and visits will be pleased with it. One of the last things that we've been doing to keep our folks busy is we had a birdhouse contest. Bill Watson from the Bellevue from the Bellevue Big Farm sold us some kits for making birdhouses, and our folks and our employees worked with each other to build those birdhouses, and then we took pictures, and then there was a panel of judges that judged them, and we came up with the first, second, and third place winners. So those are some of the things that we're doing to keep our people busy. Lastly, as David and Kathy both said, I can't thank my staff enough for the fantastic job they're doing in the face of this pandemic. They have stepped up to the plate and just amazed me with everything that they have done. So we're hoping to see the calm and get on with what we need to do. And I think that's all from Casarpy.
Thanks, Connie. And just be aware, if you guys do venture to Artisan Commons, don't expect to walk away without getting some gorgeous or very useful things. They are selling homemade laundry soap there. That's really, really good stuff. And then some of the furniture that they've already redone is really, really outstanding work. And so we have a question that I think we might as well answer now. One person wanted to know, what kind of donations are you looking for? Do you have anything specific, Connie?
Right, and that's a good question. Right now, we don't have space for clothing, but we will take furniture, we will take a bedroom set, we will take a dresser, we will take a buffet, we will take any kind of wood chairs or tables that you might have. And then also along those same lines, dishware or any type of kitchenware. We don't have the space for large appliances like large TVs or washers or dryers or refrigerators. It's a pretty quaint space. It's only about 3,300 square feet. So we're trying to just limit some of those bigger items.
Well, great. Thanks, Connie. So next up is our South Douglas area, and led by Mary Rubio.
Hello, everyone. Hope your evening is going well. I have to join this grateful train that's been started. It's been really amazing to see our DSPs who are used to working in our day sites completely relocate to residential settings where they're working without their coworkers and their typical support network that they're used to. And our day service managers really making sure that communication with each of their DSPs is there, so that we're coming through for all the people who are displaced by this, and that our staff are supported in their anxieties with the whole situation as well. So I'm quite grateful for that, and all of our team coming together, residential, working with day to make sure everything is flowing. Our folks at home are trying to keep busy and keep happy. I think the overwhelming popular activity is to get out into the sunshine, take some walks, take a drive. We've had a lot of people going out to the safari park. We've had a lot of people driving by other homes where their friends might live so they can say hello from a proper distance. We've been doing some stuff inside too. I've heard a lot of stories about baking. So I don't know, we might all have to go shopping for new pants when this thing is over. They're working on puzzles, and there was even one home that did some tie-dye projects. So they're all keeping busy. Music is another unifying and keep you happy thing that's going on. So I think they're dancing and singing, which will fit right in when we get back to our day site. Endeavors recently received a piano donation. Shout out to Danny Streeter, who found the advertisement for a free piano if you could just come and pick it up. And then shout out to Ashley Hayes for picking that string up and going for it and getting everything set up to have it delivered to Endeavors. And it's there waiting for us to learn some music playing and get some singing going. So I think we're all just trying to do the best we can and hang in there and make it through so we get back together. I think that's kind of all that's going on with us. We don't have a new building or anything. We got that all last year, so we're quite settled.
All right, well, thanks so much, Mary. So then that brings us up to Duet Support Services. Colleen Hanson, our Director of Nursing, will be sharing what's going on there.
Hi, everyone. Well, we're doing good on our end as well. People are at home, they're happy and they're healthy. Our Jerry Grazer Day Program staff have been going into not only my medical support units, but they have been helping out during the day at home in South area and a home down in Cass Sarpy. So they've been sticking to those homes. We haven't been moving them around, but they have been there to support people in those homes with activities. We have been doing lots of virtual tours. So though we can't get out in the community, we've been touring other continents in our homes, but they've been very busy with activities to keep people engaged and happy in their homes. I have hired 2 new case management nurses. David talked about Jesse up in his area, and we've also have hired, as I sit here, Catherine. Catherine Morris is starting up in Cass Sarpy and the South area with down Mary Rubio's area. And that's quite challenging when you have community nurses that have been hired and we're trying to stay out of the community at this point. But they're doing an awesome job getting oriented to what their responsibilities are going to be. And I think that's all I have too.
Well, that is wonderful. Before I get going too much farther, I want to make sure that we capture all of the information from all of you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll. Again, please just tell us who you are. So please choose what best describes you. And that way we can make sure that we continue to offer this, informational meeting. So that is, I believe, all of our areas. So that just leaves us some time for some questions. We have had some questions that we've answered privately. They were very individualized questions, but we did have 1 or 2 questions here. So one question is, how much notice will we have when you reopen so we can get our adults back in a routine before they start back? Debbie, do you want me to speak to that, or do you want to?
I can. I had to get me unmuted again. We will give people at least a week, hopefully longer, but realistically, I would say a week will be what notice we'll be able to give, because as we're watching the curve go down, when it gets to about 7 to 10 days, I think it'll be safe for us to announce reopening. So I expect to give everyone at least a week's notice.
But part of the reason we shared that criteria is just to keep you guys in the know. So you guys will, you know, be able to watch that, hopefully that curve flatten out, so you can follow along too. So if you ever have any other questions about that, always feel free to reach out to your specific area director, managers, coordinators, or Debbie and I. And then Debbie, did you want to handle that other question? You answered it via typing.
No, I think we're good. I answered that one privately. I think we're okay.
Okay, well, that is everything that we had for today. If there's no other questions, we thank you guys so much for everything that you guys are doing out in the community to help flatten that curve, for all that you do for Duet. We're very, very grateful for all of you, and we're also very, very grateful for all of our directors who are steering their areas in very rough waters because of that. Not because of what we're doing, but because of all of this pandemic happening around us. And so thank you guys very much. Debbie, do you have anything else?
I don't. It was a much shorter meeting than I thought, but I think we covered things the best we can over Zoom. So no, I don't have anything to add.
So I actually really enjoyed hearing about all the areas. So I really enjoyed this. I hope you guys did too. Thank you guys all so much for being here, and stay safe. And we hope that we get to see you in August. Take care.